Wonderful morning to everybody. Pre-market outlook session we are actually discussing today for the date of 25th November 2025. Based on the yesterday's one was the clear observation that it was a purposeful dip or retracement in a NIFTY or a Sensex we can understand. So that purpose was met and probably today it may be reacting for the purpose why it has given that dip like. So yesterday's one was of course a advantageous dip as we have mentioned here in the report. Why? Because the 14th of November high and low, as we have been discussing this days ranges or high and low points. Yesterday's one, it has tested the high point of 25,940, but unable to close below to that point was the observation and the purpose what we are discussing now. Like in the instance, we can take almost, we can say just a minute. The 15th of October low was tested and it has closed above to that point like. So when it happened first time means 7th of November, first time, the 25,365 was tested. Like in the yesterday's behavior, that day also the market unable to close below to that point. The 25,365 was protected and even the close was over 25,400. So after that, if you check well on the chart of the NIFTY or Sensex, the continuous upward rally happened. But it is not necessary. The thing will be same like in the history for any next event if it is giving based on technical. But the strength we have to measure based on the yesterday's behavior. So what it has given as a clue for the traders means the downward strength while it is getting approached was actually not sustained and it was actually happened only during the final hour and that too could not close below the point and the behaviorally the spike what it has given or the wick it has formed on the chart would be protecting the next day's rally if it is not getting approached or not getting broken again. So that means what? Yesterday's low should be maintained by the Nifty to see any reversal based or a bounce back based upsides. Yesterday's low was 25,912 exactly to be safe. Followed with the important supports that has formed around 25,940 as the 14th November high. That is very short, 20 points, not even 20 points we can say. After that 25,850 and 25,800. These are all the core support points the Nifty has to break. After that only we can see that downward trend may get strengthened to see further lows. Otherwise, if these supports are could not getting broken means we can see a value buying based or a bounce back from the buying attraction may be easily seen on the chart for the Nifty and Sensex because the supports what it have provided was not just a support, it is actually having that much of significance. That's what it has formed around that zone 25,850 and 25,800 after the core support of 25,940 which was the high of 14th November. Let's see. 14th November's low, that is core final support zone we can say. So that is 25,740 which can be concentrated for the positional kind of activities because as long as this major support for the near term 25,740 is getting broken, nothing to worry and that dip any happening also should be treated as a great opportunity for the long builders. And once it closes also, consecutive 2 days close is needed. Until then, buy on dips will be the great strategy for those who are actually looking for accumulating or freshly also entering on the long side. So this is what the suggestions for the positional traders. Anyhow, based on the yesterday's behavior, we have discussed the strategies and how it has behaved and how the strength was there. In all the way we have discussed, we can see how the markets are going to react for today's trend along with the sectors and the stocks analysis. Yes, as mentioned here in the report, after making a advantageous dip on the Nifty and the Sensex side, today by following the mixed kind of trends, mostly in the positive manner, our market also will be reflecting the same but with a flat tendency, because the tendency why it is showing that much of flat, even though some opportunities are available based on the Asian region's positivity along with the US region also. Our market, based on the technical behavior which is currently having, is not having that much strength to give a higher open. So that may be attracting the selling immediately if it is trying to do so. This is what the strategy, a tactics market is getting, our market is approaching. And because of that, we can see a flat open for the day. And after opening, since this is the final week or a monthly expiry for Nifty and Nifty oriented indexes, the Bank Nifty, mid cap, all the way. So we can see some volatility also creeping into making some swings between the support and the resistance what you have mentioned here for the day. That is actually 25,800 as the maximum bottom for the day we can expect. And on the higher side, 26,000 may not be having that much of a strong capping, because that is just a psychological barrier. The Nifty is having around 26,000. But anyhow, after breaking 26,000 in any case, in any time frame, we can expect a move towards 26,100 will be getting urged. Yes, of course, because the recent actions already broken 26,100 and even closed above that. So immediately it is getting reversed, means that the activity may not be getting hidden or may not be exploited, because the behavior always having somewhat lasting kind of activities if it is really having the strength of recently witnessed one. Based on that recently witnessed one, the 26,100 is having a possibility to retest again. That may happen in today's trend, so that we have mentioned here as 26,000. If it is getting broken, 26,100 may be eyed by the Nifty. And on the lower side, in case a less chance only we are seeing by getting broken for the 25,800 levels. In case if it is happen also, nothing to worry about that, because 25,740, this was the low point of 14th November 1, that will protect the market's fall. Anyhow, the big moment can be expected in today's trade. If it is giving that much of big moment, means you can utilize that kind of activities for building the long, in case it is giving a momentum towards the lower side based on the supports and the resistance level we have discussed here. Vice versa for the upside, if it is giving a big moment on the higher side, means 26,100 will be the area one can start reducing or trimming the positions on the long side already built up, and one can get the new long build up after breaking the previous all-time high zone. Until then, it is not advisable to build the or accumulate the long positions further. It is better to reduce or being lighter positions for any index oriented particularly is advised strongly here. From the sectors front, the banking, financials, real estate, metal, energy, oil and gas, finally it is IT, all these sectors having some important movement-based behavior, which has witnessed in yesterday's trend. So that may be expected, particularly from the heavyweights. Banking, financials should be watched closely to utilize all the momentum or to catch all the momentum they are providing. From the stocks front, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, based on technical behavior, that one is. And Paras Defense, news-based one. Saman Capital, based on technical behavior. Surya Roshni, news-based one. And Shantech Realty, of course, these are so based on news. We have listed here. Finally, it is that is CG par, not just a CG. They have some text missed around the stock's name. So CG Power and Industrial Solutions is the final stock you can concentrate amongst the list we have provided here for the day traders. Anyhow, for the positional kind of activities, as long as Nifty is holding 25,700 as a whole or a psychological level, or the 25,740 as an accurate point also we can get from the behavioral side, the Nifty is not having any difficulties to hold the trend currently it has witnessed or recently it has formed. And anyhow, the 26,300 should be broken. Until then, the range bound activities between these levels can be also expected for the Nifty on the positional front. In case the 26,300 broken means the next level will be watched around 25,700 and maybe with the 25,500 acting as an interim one. So that's it from today's pre-market discussion. And don't forget, since the volatility is expected very high during the day, even though the initial trend would be on the flat manner or a sleepy manner. So the volatility, when it is actually creeping into, so that should be treated as an opportunity to act accordingly on the same direction. If it is on the lower side volatility means it would be better to wait and watch till the supports or approach or support levels are getting tested. There one can try to build along, but based on today's expiry activities, it is better to concentrate it by the high risk oriented traders, not for the ordinary traders. So which may be that means getting difficult over tacting or over handling the volatility the market is going to give. Anyhow, the volatility or not, it is very important to keep the stop loss in all transactions. So that's it from today's pre-market discussion we can have. So we wish everyone to have a successful trading day today. So we'll be meeting again in tomorrow's session. Until then, we can sign off today's one. Thank you for your participation. Bye-bye.